Welcome to Moments with Marianne. This is your host, Marianne Pastana. We're here today with special guest, Jonathan George, who's here to share with us his new book, Unleash Your Rockstar, The Power of You Through Personal Branding. So would you like to make an impact in the world, but you're not sure how to show up both authentically and out of the crowd? Well, today's guest is here to share with us how to do just that. So Jonathan George is the CEO of Unleash Your Rockstar, a personal branding agency in Los Angeles. He has devoted over 2 decades to crafting, positioning, and expanding celebrity personal brands. Dubbed as the human hitmaker, his clients have collectively amassed over 150 million online followers, solidifying his reputation for transforming anyone into a star. Jonathan is an international speaker who collaborates with top CEOs, Fortune 500 companies, and campuses across the U.S. With a heart for Gen Z and millennials, he has revolutionized personal and professional development through innovative methods. His approach streamlines the process, enabling individuals to swiftly overcome self-doubt, gain clarity, and navigate the complexities of the digital age. So welcome to the show, Jonathan George.
Hey, great being here, Marianne.
Well, my goodness, what an honor it is to have you here. Your book is such a great hit. What inspired you to write this?
Well, I spent 20-something years in the entertainment industry creating some of the biggest young superstars in Hollywood. And, when I was ready to kind of step out of it, I was like, how can I take what I have known and done and help the rest of the world? I think it's just a natural progress that we always want to do something bigger, make a bigger impact. And one of the biggest things that, I've noticed was that we've got a mental health crisis among Gen Z and millennials, and mainly due to social media. And, my clients have over 150 million online followers. And so I was just like, how can I take all of this knowledge, this and take it and put it in a way that the rest of the world could really take it and change how they see themselves, how they show up in the world. And this is where Unleash Your Rockstar, the power of you through personal branding came from. And I will tell you this is that, when I started out, I came to Los Angeles in 2000 to be a singer-songwriter, ended up on a show called Next Big Star with Ed McMahon. I don't know if you remember that, Marianne, but I was the grand champion winner, had a record deal on the table, and the label called me and they retracted the contract because they found out that I was gay. And it really put me into an identity crisis. I didn't know who I was. My team tried to get me married. They tried to change my music. And I was just like, wait, what? I didn't know who I was. I didn't know how to show up in the world. It didn't matter the accolades. It didn't matter the talent. I didn't understand my self-worth. I didn't understand how to package all that I am to go out and be successful. So I ended up giving up singing, and I went on this huge journey to figure out who Jonathan George was, right? I was like, who am I? What am I standing for in life? And as I began to find myself, it became a huge passion to be able to help other people discover who they are. And so I just began that process working with, all these young superstars. And, it's just been a progression. Now I'm working with, top CEOs and leaders and Fortune 500 companies and education institutions all over the U.S., really helping people understand their value proposition in the world, understand their personal brand, and know how to show up powerfully in the world.
So with all of your background, what's the key to a successful, personal brand? I know so many people struggle with that.
Well, this more than anyone, Marianne, right? Your personality, but at the end of the day, you are not a radio host. You're not just a mom. You're not just all these things that we pigeonhole ourselves. Your personal brand is you. And what's incredible is the world is screaming, hey, be you. But what does that mean if you don't really understand who you are? And so, what I began to notice was that, with my clients is that I would brand them and they'd be a singer, they'd be an actor, but when they wanted to change whatever they were doing in life, then it became like almost this mental battle because emotionally they were so tied into who they have been for so long as an entertainer that they couldn't make that cut. They couldn't make the change. And I realized then, oh, I've been doing this wrong. And so I changed how to brand people from a place of who someone is rather than what they do. We're human beings, not human doings. And you're not a logo, you're not a font, you're not a website or perfectly curated social media post. You are you. And if you brand of your being correctly, it becomes the cornerstone of all of your success in life.
Well, I can see so many people struggling with that, being able to work through that portion. And you mentioned something earlier that I'd like to really touch on. And it's really how crucial social media is and the role it's playing in mental health and the challenges that Gen Z and millennials are experiencing right now. So what are some ways that we can adjust our brand in order to encompass a more empowering environment for others?
There's a couple of things. Number one, you've got to know why you're showing up anywhere in life, right? You've got to know why you're showing up. So if you're showing up on social media, it's not going anywhere, so it might as well get a handle on it, right? And you're getting jobs off of it, you're making connections. It can be a great source of connection with people, but you have to understand why you're showing up. So get clear on that, number one. The second thing is I'm going to just talk about the hook of your brand. If you can do anything, get past like insecurities, get past the point of, okay, I don't really know who I am. But if you can understand the hook of your brand, which is basically the emotional aftertaste that you create when someone experiences you for the first time, then you can show up more powerfully. So here's the thing. So if you think about a hook of a brand, I wrote songs forever. For 25 years, I was a songwriter, and you always concentrate on the hook. And that's the part that people remember. It's the part that people are singing. That's the part they're turning up. And, you've got to think, are people turning you up? Or are they skipping past you? Are they just turning you off altogether? And so my thing is if you can show up and say, hey, how do I want people to feel when they experience me? And if you can get super clear on that, if you're insecure, if you're having some kind of doubt about yourself, you don't really know how to show up, when you focus, hey, this is my hook, I want Marianne to feel seen, heard, and valued. Well, then I can show up intentionally that way, and at least I can show up confidently in that. It changes how we see ourselves. It changes how we show up in the world, and it just makes us more likable, which is a very important thing because, like Maya Angelou said, people will forget what you did, but they will never forget how you made them feel.
So, how do we address that when 85% of people struggle with low self esteem?
Well, again, it's like it is, and you got to think about life is a journey of self discovery because even when you figure out yourself, you're like, hey, this is who I am. Yay, I feel like I've landed. And then you get hit with the curveball, and all of a sudden you're responding weirdly. You're doing things that you've never done before. Life is a journey, it's a process. And this is where, if you can do the work, and this is why I wrote this book and divulging all my secrets, is that this doesn't need to take a lifetime of discovery. Now, like I said, it is a lifetime it's a journey, but the discovery process, man, it can happen very quickly if you understand who you are, why you're showing up, where you're going, and how you're going to get there. It changes your value proposition in the world. It changes everything about you. Build your confidence at a much quicker pace. And, building celebrities, you don't have time to sit here and do this for 4 or 5 years. We needed to get to, point Z very quickly. And so, I just built out these tools that would help these young celebrities break through all these insecurities, the self-doubt, the hormonal issues. And I was like, this is how you get to the other side quickly. And for me, it's been the tool of personal branding. And, the world is, when you think of personal branding, people are always, again, is thinking about how you're showing up. It's a visual presentation. It's your story, but they're missing the mark. And your personal brand is something that you're going to carry with you. And here's the thing, Marianne, is that it does not matter who you are. You have a personal brand. And the thing is if you're going to be intentional with it or not, if you're going to take control of that, man, this is when the power comes in. It's when people start responding to you. It's when it opens doors to great, incredible relationships. It's connection to yourself, connection to others. And it's really your overall fulfillment and success in life.
Well, on that note, we're going to pause here for a quick break. We've been speaking with Jonathan George in regards to his hot new book, Unleash Your Rockstar, The Power of You Through Personal Branding. You've been listening to Moments with Mary Ann. We'll be right back after these messages from our sponsors.
Are you an author, speaker, or expert who is looking for more publicity? Visit radioguestlist.com and sign up for free interview requests from shows looking for guests. Radio Guest List is the #1 free booking resource for radio, podcasts, and TV talk shows who are looking for experts like you right now. Visit radioguestlist.com and sign up today to get the visibility you deserve.
There comes a moment when you realize you're somewhere special. When you discover that each beautiful creature that you see has been rescued from a life of absolute horror and brought to this incredibly free place. Here's where their lives were forever changed and where yours will as well. Discover over 500 tigers, bears, and lions at the brand new visitor center at the Wild Animal Sanctuary just outside Denver. For more information, visit wildanimalsanctuary.org. Discover true freedom at the Wild Animal Sanctuary.
It's one thing to become attached to your perfect home, but what do you do when that home becomes attached to you? A family in dire need of a fresh start, a mysterious house tied to the past. Buried deep within the foundation of the old Far Hill Manor lies a centuries-old secret. Dark forces or something stronger just waiting to be discovered. Caretaker, a supernatural thriller by breakout authors R.J. Halpert.
Internationally recognized and award-winning author Judy Goodman works and teaches outside the box of limited thinking. Working with people from every walk of life, her goal is to empower you to be the best you can be, no matter what the challenge is. Born with the gift of seeing beyond our normal vision, she has an extraordinary gift of working with every challenge. Teaching beyond conventional wisdom, her work is described as life-changing. Visit judygoodman.com. That's judygoodman.com.
I'd like to thank Jason Eastwood at Guitarfulness for sharing his inspiring music and talent with us. His music is known worldwide for cultivating atmospheres of harmony, inner peace, and clarity. Visit Jason's website at guitarfulness.com. Join his newsletter, be part of his community, and download his music. Welcome back to Moments with Mary Ann. We're here today with special guest, Jonathan George, in regards to his hot new book, Unleash Your Rockstar, The Power of You Through Personal Branding. I was so impressed with your book. You've got so many just tools for people to use. And one thing that kind of dovetails nicely with what we're talking about is really defining our core values. And a lot of times people go through life and don't even understand that portion about themselves.
Oh, you're so true. You're so right. Your core values are the foundational parts of you. And, whether it's through your parenting, whether it's through your mentors, your educators, whether that's through religion, we all have a set of values that are instilled upon us as children. And as we grow, we start realizing what those actually mean to us and how we can view it. But if you will go back and look at every situation in your life that's been a negative situation and you're like, this has been terrible, it all relates back to the fact that your core values, your core needs are not being met. And if you understand what yours are, it will guide you to know what to say yes to, what to say no to. It will tell you what relationships to enter into, which ones that you need to let go of. It is one of the most valuable tools in your life. If you will understand what your core values are, it will change every single thing about you because you'll know what to go after and what to stay away from.
In your book, you talk about the power of energy. So, how does energy impact everything?
Well, I mean, everything is vibration. From a music standpoint, everything is vibration. Everything is frequency. And, you can walk into a room and if somebody is attracted to another person, you can see the energy between them, even if they're not speaking the words, or you can tell if somebody is fighting. So your energy enters the room before you do. And so you have to be so aware of what your energy is. And we all have what I call two energies. It's like the yin and the yang, and that is your performer energy versus your creator energy. And you've got to be equally balanced in all of those things. So I think we all have these special gifts. And I probably could ask you, Marianne, just like, what do you think that your energy is, that you've read the book and you're probably a creator. You're probably somewhat empathetic. You're probably, what I mean? I'm just making assumptions here and probably shouldn't be doing that. But it's just, we all have these energies. I'm much more like a go-getter. I'm more of kind of a cut and dry person. It's just, I'm not overly sensitive and so with this energy, I have to balance it with the creator. I have to be more empathetic. I have to be more kind, and just to make me an equally balanced person energetically. And our energies, if we're not careful, and if we're thriving in a certain energy that's our gift, we will quickly burn out. We will get exhausted. We're going to hit dead ends. It affects our mental health and our overall happiness. And so understanding where your energy is coming from, man, it changes everything. Working with people and it's just really crazy. People would say, "Hey, Jonathan, why is your talent always the one who's winning and getting all the jobs or the being so successful, getting the record deals?" And it's not because they're the most talented. It's not because they're the most beautiful or the most gifted or any of those things. It's because they're so clued in on who they are. They understand their energy. They understand where they're coming from. They understand when they walk into a room what is going to attract people to them, what's going to make them successful. Because, I call it the Britney versus Christina syndrome. Everybody thinks that they need to be Christina Aguilera. She is a vocal, she is such gifted vocally. But, it's okay to be Britney Spears. Britney Spears was well packaged in everything. She knew who she was. She knew how to show up. She knew the songs that she was going to sing. She knew the performances she was going to do. And she understood all of those packagings and the energy of who she was and how to package those things. And it made her more successful than Christina. So for all the people who think that you need to be extraordinary walking into this world, that if you will understand who you are at your core, if you will understand what your being is and how you're showing up, your energy of your brand, the hook of your brand statement, being super clear on these things, you can be as successful in life. And success to me isn't about money. It's about being fulfilled and happy. But you can be successful in life at everything that you're doing when you know these just basic things.
Wow. I think that that's so important. And then one of the things I was so impressed with, for our artists out there that are looking to take their work to the next level, do you work with like artist development?
So, that was my company for over 20 years, was an artist development company. And we also had another franchise across the U.S. that we would train triple threats. So singers, actors, dancers, and because to me, it's all the same on so many levels. If you can learn to tap into one thing, you can tap into all things and be just a better performer all around. And so, I used to do that, but I've literally given that up so that I can work with educational institutions, with companies coming in and working with their people, because everybody must have a personal brand for the overall success of a team. I was developing a boy band for Simon Fuller when I realized this was that I had like every single member of the team had to be a rock star. And so in order for the entire team to be successful, right? So it wasn't just everybody had to know who they were. They needed to understand what their weight within the group was. They had to understand what talents and gifts that they were bringing to the table. And everybody had to be okay with that. Like this is this person's time to shine. This is what somebody else is doing. And it's also allowing others just to be great without you feeling the need to squish their light or to dim their light. And so when you're confident, you are cheering other people on. And it just builds this incredible ecosystem that's sustainable. It's exciting to be at work. It keeps people engaged. And so, even on campus, it really does change when you have self-esteem and you understand who you are, and that makes it so much better to allow others to be great as well.
Such a great place to come from. So for folks that they've picked up their copy of Unleash Your Rockstar and they want more, what else is there?
Well, you can go to unleashyourrockstar.com. You can get the book for free. You just pay shipping and handling. And I also have a workbook. And to me, everything's action. The book does have, some tools in there that are really great to use. But if you want to learn how to put it all together, because you got to think of yourself as a whole being, right? You're holistically from head to toe, you're a whole being. And so you can't just go, oh, I'm going to do this one thing and go, oh, okay, I'm done. No, you've got to do all of these things and learn how to put it together. So I created a workbook that is just incredible. It's stuff that I've been using for, 20 something years in my profession, and it's all written down on let's figure out how to find out who you are, right? And there's also an app that goes along with the workbook where I'm coaching you. There's a community in there. It's just an incredible experience. I'm from the entertainment world, so we had to make this really extra and cool and be something that people want to dive into and do it with their friends. So unleashyourrockstar.com, you can get the book. When you get the free book, you can upgrade it and get the workbook for so cheap, and the app as a bonus. So it's just it's a great deal.
It is a great deal, and being able to incorporate something like this for the masses that's only been afforded to basically rock stars before is nice,
It's it's very expensive to develop. And I'm going to say this is that if you're not stepping into your greatness, if you don't understand your value proposition in the world or how to show up, the lack of self-confidence is going to cost you everything. It's going to cost you connection to yourself, your fulfillment. It's going to cost your overall success in life, relationships, opportunities. And so you got to think, how do I build my confidence? How do I build up knowing who I am and how to show up in the world? Because if you are not showing up powerfully, you're not only doing yourself a disservice, but you're also robbing the world of our blessings. And, here's the thing is that you've got something to give. You've got something very powerful in your world and in your life that could change the person next to you. It could change the communities that you live in. It could change the world as a whole. And my thing is I need you to step up into that. We all need you to step up into that so that we can be a better place.
Well, Jonathan, you are such an inspiration. Can you share your website with us one more time?
Sure, it's unleashyourrockstar.com, and I'm on social media on every kind as Jonathan George. Come visit me, come say hey, hang out with me. I love community, and so, come in, and if you're looking for a place to hang out, I'm right there with you.
Jonathan, thank you so much for taking the time to be on the show with us here today.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Well, thank you, Jonathan. It's been such an honor to spend this time with you and to talk about your new book, Unleash Your Rockstar. Make sure to visit Jonathan's website so you can order your free copy of Unleash Your Rockstar at unleashyourrockstar.com. Well, we're at the end of our time today. I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in. You've been listening to Moments with Mary Ann, where we make every moment count.
In a single moment, your life can change. Moments with Marianne is a transformative hour that covers an endless array of topics with the best of the best. Her guests are leaders in their fields, ranging from inspirational authors, top industry leaders, and business and spiritual entrepreneurs. Each guest is gifted and a true visionary, a recognized leader in her own work, and while teaching others to develop, refocus, and grow, Marianne will bring the best guest and sometimes a special surprise. Don't miss this. You never know just which moment will change your life forever. Make sure to tune in and visit momentswithmarianne.com for more information.